I am so glad to be back, and I'm going to switch to the other view because I feel like I feel terrible that I had to miss on Wednesday, but it was crazy with everything going on, so I couldn't have done it. But I'm going to switch to this window now because I want to show you um, what I'm doing right now. I'm starting to put this very, very rough wolf into a position. And this is one of the newer guide pictures I've got together for everyone. And we started out with this picture, and let me make it so you can see it. But that's a 3/4 shot. Gives you a much better idea of how you can begin to model this. So this is extremely rough, but what I'm doing is, let me show you this idea. You can even, now this is way off. It's way off, but what's missing from this are the feet. So basically, I can start to measure and see if my measurements are sort of there. I mean, if they're not perfect, let's go all the way to the tail. And my calipers are just big enough to do this project. But I don't know if you can see it, and I'm going to put it where you could. From the nose to the tail, it's pretty close. It's pretty close, right? And then let's just look at the head. How big is our head? Well, I'm going to go from the tip of the nose to the back of the ears. Let's see if I can do that. And I can see that the ears would be a little bit more like here. There we go. So let's do that again. So I can adjust that. I can adjust that. What it is the kind of the skull of the wolf is a little bit bigger. So we'll modify that until we have it pretty close. Let's get the muzzle to the eye. That's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, and then the eye, the middle of the eye I'll do to the front of the ear. Okay, so it's back here more. That's okay. But you see how you can do this. You make your adjustments by just measuring as you go. Frank and Jackie know all about my measuring technique, but it really does work. And it's, if it was good enough for the masters of the Renaissance, which is how they made their marble sculptures, I think it's good enough for us. So we'll get moving using that idea. And I have some warmed up clay over here. Let me see if I can change views for a minute just to show you the warmed up clay over here in my plate warmer. Let me just take apart my little layers of insulation here. And I have quite a lot of warmed up clay, big amounts of it, and it's very soft and very malleable, very pliable at that stage. So I'll be kind of working with that. I don't need this on. What I did was, the reason I had the parchment paper is before I got started, I did want to warm him up just a little bit, so I placed him on top. I don't want him to get too soft, though. That's the thing. So, of course, it's very rough at this stage, and the limbs look very, very thick, and they kind of are thick. Cindy, I was going to say good morning and happy Valentine's Day and to everybody. But anyway, we'll go back to the other view. And I don't have my new camera up yet. Sorry about that. So much going on with moving. It's really hard to do everything. So, and Cindy, you can see I've started to put him in the position that we're going to want. So what I did was I cut off the neck and head area, and I used my heat gun to get it down here. And I was, just heating up where I cut it like that for a few minutes. And after I did that, I then, I had to get some additional clay, and I put it on in this new position. So again, imagine if I had armature at this stage, it would just be a mess to try to reposition it. And okay, so it could be argued that, well, why didn't I just have armature and go for this view from the beginning? Well, the reason is it's very hard to capture this pose without getting the basics started, because then you're going to do something wrong if you just kind of start with a pose and you don't understand your proportions and the general shape of your animal. I felt it'd be much easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. To start with, what did we start with? We started with this kind of general pose. Everyone has seen a dog in that position. That's a lot easier than that position. Or even this. This is kind of what we're going to head for. So when we're done with this sculpture, I want to be able to take a picture of the sculpture and have it kind of look like that, at least as menacing and in that pose. So I've just started to. What I'm going to do is start to pare down and measure as I pare down. But let me put some of this clay away before it gets too melted. I got a little bit on the outside there. It cleans up really well. And if you get clay all over something like this heat pad and you can't get it off easy, just turn your heat pad on and it will wipe right off. Like with a paper towel, you can just wipe off your clay. So it's really, really forgiving, unlike a lot of other types of clay. So let's see. I'm going to start by just going through the different measurements of the legs. And I don't see the feet. That's why this isn't the most ideal study guide, but at least it's a start. I'm going to just kind of guess where the feet are based on this. And so I'm going to just sort of generally measure to the ground. And I feel like that's right. But what's not right is this leg needs to be way more pushed back. And so I'm just going to very gently start to pare down this side. I'm not going to worry about the other side so much yet. I'm just going to worry about the one side first. And that's a technique we used in the gift industry often, where we would just work on one side of a piece and then go to the other side. So I'll try to keep my hands out of the way. And eventually, I think we'll be able to see all this detail because I have that new camera, just haven't had the chance to get it set up, and I have to learn it and read the instructions. You guys know what that's like. Okay, so I'm trying to gauge the thinness of this leg. I'm not going to get it as thin as it's going to be until I have the armature in, and we don't have the armature in yet. And so we're going to just scrape away. Then I have a loop tool here. Are there any questions? Good morning, Mark. So just to catch Mark up on things, I've been starting to put the wolf in the position we're going to want. This is almost there, but as you know, this is more where we're headed, right like that. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to show you during this little broadcast we're doing this morning. Let me see if I can get my video back on. Let me turn this back on so I can show you real quick before I forget. I didn't want to forget this. So in the background, let me get this picture off the screen. I have an image there. Okay, so I have my big 10-year-old iMac. I'm thinking, should I get rid of that? No, because this is really good. It's almost like I have a presentation I can show you. So what I've done is I've turned the video. This is a National Geographic video on wolves. And so what I've done, let me see. Oh, wrong mouse. On this little settings thing, you can look at playback speed. And I put it to the absolute lowest, 0.25. So watch what I can do now. I'm going to watch these wolves very carefully. Look at that at slow motion. See how helpful that is. I mean, you could do your screenshots like that too when you're trying to create your own guides. But I mean, that's a very helpful way to very carefully see the movement and the musculature and the proportions. And so I wanted to show you this idea of, let me see if I can find another shot that's, oh, look at these shots. Oh my goodness, the Yellowstone wolves. So that's a good idea. I hope that will be helpful to you going forward. But meanwhile, we'll go back here. And as I shave this down, I'm only going to work on one side. I'm not going to worry about the rough other side. I'm just going to work on the one side. And I'm going to, for example, take different points that are very distinctive, like this juncture here and how high it goes there. And that's correct. And then I'm going to imagine where the feet are. That's a little tough. And in the guide I would publish finally, I'd want to put the feet in there, or at least the line where the feet would go. And I'm going to guess where those feet are by looking at this, and just go from the top. That mane, they kind of almost have a mane there, and it could be a little higher. And I think instead of judging how thick or this distance to here, I'm going to actually look at this. I'm not sure if that looks quite correct, but you know, they have a kind of a dip here of fur. So maybe it is. I mean, I guess this could be a little deeper here. And I'm just going to try to guess. This actually goes way forward. I can see that now. So what I mean, this mane is forward of that leg much more. So let me just chop that. I mean, you have to be sometimes just relentless in your chopping, because you start to see something wrong and you go, oh. But that's how you do it. You put it together and you say, okay, what's wrong? But don't just guess what's wrong. Start measuring. And that's what shows you what's wrong. Now that's better. So we're getting there. We're going to get there. Any questions at this point? Because I'll be glad to, or if you think of them later, of course, put them in the comments, because I'll always be happy to answer the questions. But anyway, okay. I'm going to go back to the close-up view. Let's see, where's my mouse? I have two one for this and one for this. Let's see. Let's open this one. Ooh, not the right one. Let's see, where's my video stream? I'm looking for my video stream and it looks like it popped. There it is. Okay. Well, something happened funny here. I feel like I lost my, there we are. I see it. Okay. So I'm just going to take this loop tool, let me get this out of the way for a minute, and continue to just shave away at, you know, I start out with thicker forms, and then I like to shave them away and test them out until I've got something closer. And of course, these feet, these legs, these ankles are so thick right now. And as soon as I put the armature in there, I can start to really thin them out. But I don't want to do that until I know the position. I've got to know the position to do that. I'm going to take a look at this leg. This area here can come down. This is quite an area inside. Let me try to, I'm going to do it a little bit and then show you what I'm doing. So I know it's really hard for you to see. But inside here, there's quite a distance. What I'm trying to do is see that distance in here. I'm going to have to achieve that. And that's, I've got too thick a leg on either side. So I'll use this one this time. Just get that shaved down. Where I'm moving, and I don't want to tell it on the air, but where I'm moving, we're going to have a place where I can possibly conduct classes. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have somewhat of an audience and class attendees, because they could ask a lot of questions right then and there and be working on this as we go. And it would help me, whoops, let me dismiss that. That's my, there we go. That's my alarm. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to blast ahead. You see how I'm creating that space in there now? I don't want to blast ahead if people don't know what's going on. I feel bad if I'm not able to explain what I'm doing. So right now it's probably still not enough. It doesn't look like it, but you see this kind of space right between there. It creates that stalking effect that we really want to make sure we achieve. You know, he's down, he's crouching, and he's mad. Not mad, maybe excited, I don't know. Fierce. He's fierce. So, okay, I made a mess there, and of course I'll gather that up like that. And I just love this clay, by the way. So I hope you guys have ever are trying it. You know, it's maybe a little challenging when you're not used to it, but you'll get used to it and then go, oh my goodness, I don't want to use anything else because it has so many properties that help you develop as a sculptor. Well, anyway, I'll try to work on this over the weekend, and it looks kind of like a bear crossed with a wolf crossed with a cow right now. But it won't. Eventually, that's the thing about doing this for a long time. You get the confidence that even though it looks horrible now, it won't look horrible forever. So I will let everyone go. Let me say goodbye with the other view. And there we are. I can say properly goodbye. So have a great weekend. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye-bye.